Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is your boy Kyle, Mish, who is way bigger than Mike right now, who's over
That's
there.
right.
This is unusual. There we go. Mike and Mish show. Here we are. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, man? It feels so good to be back. It's Wednesday, and I'm here with all of you whom I love so much.
We have a big show for you guys tonight. Three more BKFC fighters are on the docket. One coming off a huge win in London at BKFC 27. We got one that's stepping back into the ring for the seventh time in Montana. And then we got a return guest that hasn't been on the show for about a year. We got James Lilley to start the show, Brian Maxwell to follow, and then we're going to finish up the show with Jenny Savage. Anything new going on, Mike?
Well, I have to tell you what. Guess what? It's pumpkin season. You better believe it. Your boy got that pumpkin spice, and I'm feeling nice. I got that cold brew Jameson, and I got it poured right up into my cup right now, and it's going to be a great night.
This kid and his damn pumpkin spice.
Oh, yeah. Love
We're
it.
gonna bring
I'm a
on
basic
James.
bitch.
You are a basic
I
bitch.
am.
We are. You know what? These New Englanders up here. You guys know we're from New England up here, and like pumpkin spice is huge up here. I don't know if it is for the rest of the
Pumpkin.
country, but pumpkin spice is fucking insane up here.
Yeah.
With that said, we have news about the Britain Hart main event coming up. After James, we'll tell you about what we found out about Fanny and what's going on with that. But right now, let's bring in our first guest of the evening. James Lights Out Lilley coming off a victory at BKFC 27 against Tyler Goodjohn in a absolute 5-round war. Here we go. The man himself, James Lilley. What's up, bro?
Hi guys, nice one for having me on.
You
What's
know,
up? What's up?
First thing we got to do is thank you for waking up, because for everybody that is unaware, it is 2 a.m. where he's at right now. So he woke up, he made himself a cup of coffee, and
Sheesh.
he's on here with your boy. So thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
No worries. So man, 7-0 in bare knuckle, 7-0-1. You put on an absolute show back on whatever day that was, BKFC 27 against Tyler Goodjohn in London. You guys made history over there. Um, how were you feeling about your time so far in the BKFC? And like, talk a little bit about that fight with Tyler. Anything surprise you about him?
Yeah, I think I've made a good start to BKFC. Obviously came over to Florida in April and had that first round KO, which I don't think anyone's expecting. Um, and then obviously I beat Tyler, who's ex-world title challenger. Um, and that was the type of fight I'd always wanted and I'd always be looking for since I came into bare knuckle. Tyler's not just that he's like a big name in the bare knuckle scene, but he's like a grizzled veteran. He was 4-1 at the time. He'd won titles in the UK. He'd just come off a title challenge from uh, Luis Palomino, and he'd also fought people like Crazy Horse. So that was me stepping up to the next level. Although I'd beaten really good guys before in the past, Tyler was probably like the big name that I was gunning for. And I think I've done really well against him. I think
You
it's
know,
probably
you
one of the
know,
best performances.
right here, Big Ben says Tyler tough as nails, Lilley was the hammer. Now, that right there pretty much sums up what I was just going to say about Tyler Goodjohn. One thing about Tyler Goodjohn, no matter how close the fight was between you and him, and we had you winning most, I think maybe all 5 rounds, but Tyler wears it, huh? You came out of there pretty unscathed. It looks like you have an injured hand. Did you break your hand during the fight?
Yeah, I think I broke it in the first round. I watched the fight back and I kind of clipped him behind the ear early on. I think that's what split his ear open. But I think I broke it then, but I didn't really feel it until sort of the end of the third round. I went back to my corner and I was like, oh, my hand's hurting. So they told me to kind of like slow down in the fourth round. And then we obviously wanted to close out the fifth just to make sure that there was no doubts. But yeah, I work away quite a lot, so I got checked out last Friday, and they said I broke my knuckle, so I'm just waiting to see the hand specialist on Wednesday to find out what the damage is and find out what the step is to get it repaired.
How long do you anticipate that keeping you out for?
They haven't really said anything. The, the way sort of the NHS is over here, it's big waiting list at the moment. So Wednesdays usually they've gotten to see until I see the hand specialist. But I've read a few things online and think it'll be 6 or 7 weeks before I can start doing anything with my hand again. So I was hoping maybe to get out before Christmas, but it's probably going to be early in the new year before I can fight again, which is a bit disheartening with the last two performances. I would have liked to have a third fight, but close the year out. But stuff like this happens. It's bare knuckle.
Right, and you broke the missile hand there, the one that put out Palorano in one shot. And it's funny because the other Lights Out, Chris Lights Out Lytle was saying right before that fight that you said that you're not really a one punch knockout guy. You're more of a tactician in there. And then you went in there and I think you landed one punch on him. Or was it the first punch that landed?
Pretty much, yeah. I caught him with a little sort of flick out jab to find my distance, but I'm not known as a one punch knockout artist. And I said it to Chris sort of in the meeting before London that I'm not going to say that again because it just makes me look like I'm lying. But it was a perfect shot. He came in, he kind of rushed me and it brought his body weight, and I was stepping forward as well. So it was just perfect timing, more than power. Like I said, I'm more of a sort of technician rather than like a slugger and a knockout artist. But I'll take the early fights because it means I can get to the bar and have a beer quicker.
Have you been officially knighted Lights Out by Lights Out now? Lights Out Lytle?
It's funny because the first bare knuckle show I fought on in the UK, Chris was there, and I had a kind of name from when I was in MMA because I remember watching Chris on UFC, and James Toney was one of my favorite fighters, so I kind of picked up that name. I had to change it for BKB London because obviously Chris is a much bigger star than I was, and I was giving him a little bit of shit on Twitter over it at the time, trying to get a fight with him. But no, yeah, I think he's happy for me to have it at the moment.
What was the name that you went with on the night that you had to change it?
El Terra.
El Terra. What is it? Okay, I gotta ask. Now I gotta ask this question because Tyler Goodjohn's from London. You're from Wales. You guys both went with like Spanish nicknames, El Tornado and El Terror. Are you a little on the Latino side as well?
No, when I was growing up, I used to I have a little mustache, so I looked like I look a little bit Mexican because of my mustache, and it just came from that more than anything.
That's it. Simple as that.
Pretty much.
I think is very interesting about you is that you fight people for a living with your bare hands. You're very successful at it, undefeated, as a matter of fact. But you're also a poet. Like you write a lot of poetry, and you're part of what is the thing called? The Drunk Poet Society or something like that?
Yeah, the Drunk Poet Society is an event I host, and it's basically a load of poets who don't usually. There's not many poetry events in Swansea and South Wales area, so a load of us get together, read some of our work, get drunk, and it's taken off. We've been invited to sort of festivals to perform and stuff, so it's going pretty well. But yeah, it's a little bit different from sort of the bare knuckle side.
You ever think about writing something and then after you win a fight, you let out some really good like poet, some little rhyme or something? You know what I mean? You could be like the bare knuckle Chael Sonnen,
Most of my stuff is really dark and like
even better.
I don't know if I want to put the crowd down after watching the bare knuckle fight, have them all crying into their beers and shit.
Oh man, that's awesome. When did you start getting into poetry before boxing or boxing before poetry?
It's kind of around the same time. It was funny because I never really took poetry serious. It was like kind of like a stupid habit or like a hobby that I didn't really tell anyone about, more sort of like for confidence than anything, I didn't want to show people my work and they think it was just, boxers aren't meant to do that and shit like that really. And I in lockdown then I started writing, a bit more because there was nothing else to do. Started putting some of my work out there to like um various places, and it's just taken off from there. A lot of my stuff has been published over in the US. Like a lot of the online like zines and stuff they're all US based, and that's where I seem to have had my success.
Okay.
And a lot of like the poets I speak to are all over there because I didn't realize there was like this darker side of poetry where it's like crime poetry, and you write about stuff that we see like coming from like rougher areas, like drug dealing and murders and suicides, and no one really kind of talks about it in poetry, and I kind of found a knack talking about it, and that's where I seem to have had my success.
Wow, that's very interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know if we've talked to a fighter that has that kind of outlet outside of fighting. Let's get back to fighting though. Your hand's healing. You're right. You said you're going to be out till probably the beginning of 2023, but at 7-0 and 2-0 in the BKFC, with a 1-punch knockout and a 5-round display out in BKFC 27 against Tyler Goodjohn. Here's some photos of it for anybody that didn't see. You have positioned yourself very well, to put you right in that title talk with Luis Palomino. Now, Palomino is, obviously interested in the, in the big name money fight, the UFC fighter Chad Mendes. He's been calling out Chad Mendes. He wants him, but don't you think that you should be the one that's being talked about for the next up for the 155 title? I think it's a
Yeah, of
no-brainer.
course. Yeah, the thing is with the champ, he's beaten everyone in the division. The long list of names. I think it's only like myself and Tony Soto that he hasn't beaten in the top five, but he's beaten so many people before that, and he's been around for quite a long time with BKFC now. I kind of understand why I'm not being mentioned because he kind of can pick and choose as he likes. How many times he's got to prove himself in the division. But for me, all I can do is just keep fighting, keep winning, and sooner or later I'm going to get the shot. Whether it's Palomino, who I'd love to fight, he's number one in the world. He's ranked the number one pound for pound, so that would be a big scalp. But I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I can't be ignored forever. So even if he's going after sort of Mendes, or then he goes up to 165, eventually people are going to start talking about my name. And I think I've always been underrated wherever I've gone, and I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't need to make a big noise, don't need to have a chip on my shoulder and start calling people out. I'll just keep bodying people, and then when the time comes, I'll be number one, or I'll be champ. And it's like seeing the dark clouds in the distance and trying to ignore it. You're still going to get wet in the rain, so I'll keep going.
Recently, Tony Soto did fight. He fought a guy named Joshua Morales out in Albuquerque, put on a nice show. And then BKFC Thailand came around, the main event, Buakaw. Did you watch these events? Were you impressed with what you saw by either one of those two? And do either one of those guys interest you and maybe a possible future opponent?
Yeah, of course. Well, with the BKFC Thailand event, all the gym I go to is an MMA gym, and my coach is a kickboxing coach. So all the guys were super excited about the main event on that because he was such a legend, and they're all Thai boxers. So they were asking when I was going to fight him. So obviously that's a fight I would like. I'd like to go to Thailand. I got friends over there. With Ty Emery, who's part of my stable, who got a lot of attention from the celebration. I don't know if any of you guys seen it.
Mike, what could he possibly be talking about here, man?
I think he's talking about this.
Oh, hello. You know what? this is someone who knows what she's doing here. A lot of people had
course,
a lot of people loved it, of course,
Yeah.
but a lot of people were like, it's a bad look. And David Feldman even came out and said it yesterday on the Bare Knuckle show with those guys that this is something that it was something that happened. It made a lot of noise. It went viral. It did very well for her. She's now over 100,000 follows on Instagram. But we can't be having that. We're going to put a stop to that. From this point forward, nobody should be doing that kind of stuff. But that was pretty awesome, I must say.
Yeah, it's heat of the moment.
Heat of the moment.
She's
And as I
wild.
said,
She's a wild girl.
Hey, as long as it
she's
wasn't
crazy.
as long as you stopped Tyler Goodjohn from like celebrating and wagging his fucking wang in front of the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Nobody needs to see that shit. Right. So you were saying you have friends over in Thailand. You're friends with Thai Emery. Do you know TJ Chang over there?
Oh, Hellboy, yeah. I don't know him sort of personally, but we've been speaking quite a lot when because we've both sides with BKFC. I've got a guy who I used to live with in the UK who's moved out to Thailand, and he's a trainer out there, Marty Swindle. So yeah, it'd be nice to go over there and see a lot of the guys. I think Tony would also be a good fight in the States. Both of us undefeated.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
There's loads of options. Yeah, there's loads of options for me at the moment. Obviously, I'd love to have the Chad Mendes fight as well because he's such a huge name, huge star. But like I said, I'm pretty happy with whoever they've got in front of me. I think at the moment there isn't many people that I should face because I've kind of, I've got to be either number one or number two now. So I don't really want to look down. I want to look up. But like I said, we're all waiting on the champ to see what he does. I know he wants to do a fight in Peru before the end of the year, so that would have been something I'd love to have been on as well. But obviously with the hand, we just got to wait and see.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
the
sir.
155-pound division, and even if you went up to 165, we were just talking about this the other day with, I believe, Caleb Harris or maybe even Tony Soto, one of those two. We were on the show, and we were talking about when you look at the number of fighters in those divisions. 155 and 165 are the biggest divisions in all of BKFC. They have the most options, they have the most fighters, and they have the most really high level technical fighters in those two divisions. So I believe that, the options are unlimited for you, but I do agree that you should stay right up at the top and be fighting the best of the best because you're right up there with them for sure.
Yeah, the stacked divisions. I could even make 145 if I had
Really?
enough. Yeah, I've made it before in MMA. I haven't done it for a number of years, but we made 155 pretty easy when I go over to Florida. Didn't have to do much sweating, so it's there to come off. It's just the motivation to make that 145 weight. It's not something I want to do often because it would be a hard cut. So
Yeah,
I'd rather do 155.
Now, are you and Connor Tierney friends with each other? Are you guys buddies or just happen
Yeah,
to be?
we're pretty close. We were around each other quite a lot on the UK circuit. We've even had a cage boxing fight because he came down to Wales to fight on one of my coach's shows, and he didn't have an opponent, so I ended up stepping up on like a couple of days' notice, and it was good fun. But yeah, we were both signed with the same management company originally, both
Okay,
signed for BKFC at the same time. So yeah, we talk quite often. We're pretty close.
that's cool. I mean, BKFC has quite the crop of fighters right out of the England scene with you and Connor and Tyler. I mean, that's pretty impressive if you ask me. And everybody needs to be recognizing that these guys are at the top of that division. So that really speaks to the areas that you guys come from. Obviously, bare knuckle and boxing is really in your blood. So, what we do on this show, man, we do a thing called a speed round. We ask you 5 questions, not fight related. It's kind of fun, gets people to know you very well. It's 2:00 in the morning over where you're at. You're sipping espresso and you're giving us a little of your time. You want to do a speed round with us?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I might not be that fast because it's 2 in the morning, but I'll try.
A
Yeah.
funny thing about the speed round is we call it the speed round, but usually it's not speedy at all.
Not at all. Number one question for you, sir, is what is a Welsh costumed cockle picker?
So, do you have cockles over in the US?
I think so. We have in Rhode Island, we have what we call quahogs, which are kind of like clams or,
Right.
something
Okay.
like a mussel,
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is cockle
So
a clam?
yeah, it's big business over here. What my cousin, he's got his own business doing it. Makes quite a lot of money. I don't know what the costume bit is. I think it's what they used to wear back in the old days.
Oh, okay.
But usually they wear those fisherman trousers now and take a big rake and go in the sand with them. But yeah, cockles like a delicacy over here.
Usually, like when we're talking to a fighter, we look up their hometown and we see what's a big deal in their hometown. And you're from Swansea, Wales, not Swansea, Mass. For all the people around us, let's get that straight right away. But there may be some cockles up there. When I googled what is Swansea, Wales known for, it was beaches, and then it said not to mention the costumed cockle pickers, and I'm like, what in the fuck
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, we were like, wait, what? What is it?
I don't know what a costume cockle picker is. It might be something I missed.
Oh man, we're gonna have to Google that shit a little more. All right, number two.
Can you recite us a quick James Lilley original poem?
Oh shit. No, I can't. Not at 2 in the morning.
All right, well,
Put you on the spot there.
yeah, we put you on the
Oh,
spot. Everybody,
did.
get online and look up his poetry if you want to hear it. You ain't gonna hear it here.
Yeah.
Number three. If we went to Wales, what's something that we definitely should eat, and where should we go to get it?
Sticking with the subject of the first question, deep fried popcorn cockles.
Deep fried popcorn cockles.
Yes,
Did you put any
it's
sauce
basically.
on it?
They're quite salty. Like they're only like tiny. It looks a bit like KFC popcorn chicken, but cockle form. They're one to get. Also,
you
if you're
dip
down this way,
Do you dip it in anything?
yeah, it usually comes with like a tartar type sauce,
Okay.
But like you'll get you guys should also try lava bread.
Lava bread.
What is
Yeah,
that? What is that?
What's that?
it's kind of, you'll have to Google it, but it's kind of like a seaweed type thing that people put on toast.
Okay.
Lava
Seaweed.
bread.
But they're like,
Oh,
yeah,
Laver bread.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I see. I was thinking lava bread, like Lava.
yeah.
What is lava bread?
Oh man. All right.
I thought it
Number
was
Yeah.
like spicy, some spicy bread or something. All right. What was the most popular band during your high school years?
For me, it would probably been like Oasis. They're still like massive over here now, and if they ever got back together, people would be like cutting off their arms and stuff to get
Dude,
there. But
I
yeah,
bet.
they were
Oh my
huge.
God.
They were
Are they
huge
bigger?
in,
Are
like,
they bigger than the
like,
Beatles over there?
for my generation, yes.
No shit.
Overall, it's debatable. Yeah.
I remember one of the two Gallagher brothers said that we are bigger than the Beatles in England. And I thought that was like the craziest thing because we're American and like the Beatles are the Beatles over here and everybody fucking dies over them. But I'm going to tell you right now, me and Mike are both in the military. And when I was deployed in 2008, we had this, it's called a DFAC. It's a chow hall where we
Dining
go.
facility.
Dining
Short
facility.
for dining, yeah.
Okay.
It was called the Oasis. It was like we had a tent one, like a warehouse one, and then we had like an actual brick building dining facility that was like the nicest one out of all of the ones on the base over there.
Yep.
And it said the Oasis across. I used to sing Wonderwall every single fucking day driving over there. I would drive the truck and I'd have a truck full of people and they'd be like, would you shut the fuck up? And I said, maybe. I would fucking piss everybody off. It was so funny. Yeah, that was my shit right there. Anyways,
yeah.
last question for you, brother. Here we go. This is my favorite one. If you do your best American accent, we'll try to do our best English accent.
I can only say one word in American. It's not even that good. Put some coffee.
So coffee. You went with coffee.
Coffee.
So yeah.
I like to say coffee.
Yeah,
Coffee. That's it. Yeah.
Coffee.
I'd like to put a little bit of Jameson in my coffee.
Well, my name is Liam fucking Gallagher, and I'm the greatest fucking rock star on the planet, you cocksuckers. Is that good?
I take a little bit of Jameson. Put a little bit of Jameson in my coffee.
Oh, okay. Well, was that all right?
That was pretty good, yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. Well, I guess we could fit in over there. You could fit in over here. And we look forward to seeing you fight again. Hopefully your hand is better sooner than later. We didn't know about the hand injury, but, early 2023, if Palomino hasn't figured out what the hell he's doing yet, maybe we see you and Palomino.
Knucklemania 3.
Knucklemania 3, yes. February. I'm telling you right now, man, you've impressed the BKFC fans thoroughly with your performances so far, and we're really looking forward to seeing you back in there. We'll give you an opportunity to say a few things real quick, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, nice and family on, guys. Yeah, Knucklemania 3 sounds good. Anyone wants to give you a follow, help me boost my following and make sure that I can make some noise. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to keep doing my thing, and we'll see where the chips fall and where we're going to smoke next, get that title.
Now, at the bottom of the screen there, James, we've been putting your Instagram across, and we have your referral code. Do you have any other social medias besides the James Lilley 86?
I'm on Twitter. It's James Lilley 1411. But that's it for my social media. Those are the only two I have.
All right, then everybody get on Instagram and follow this guy up. He's one of the best in the business, and he'll be back early 2023 coming after a title. Thank you very much for waking up and having a little time with us. Take it easy, James.
Yes, guys. Awesome. Thank you.
Night, guys. Thanks, man. Get some sleep.
There he is. James lights out Lilley, the warrior poet himself.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the guy's a badass. And I really can't imagine, other than the hand injury, what would stop him from getting a title fight. But him bringing up Tony Soto and saying that he'd be interested in fighting Buakaw in Thailand and also Tony Soto in America.
Yeah.
Whew, I love all them.
Definitely love those.
Yeah.
I like that. He called out some good names in his division. I love it. I'm not the guy who likes to hear I'll fight whomever. A lot of people say that. I get it. It's a company thing. It's to be, I get it. There's two sides. But I'm always, I mentioned him before, Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen says, always have a name ready and someone ready to call out at the end. You need to say something to get the people talking. And that's what I believe in if you want to try to up the ante and get people following you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So everybody should go follow him up. And Mike, you know what? Tony was on the show with us, I think last week. Yep. And he said that he needs to take some time off. He needs to go back to work. He has a family to support. So maybe Tony Soto is the one that makes sense early 2023. And then them two, winner of that one, it maybe fights the winner of Palomino and whoever he fights. Yeah. Anyways, man, we got another guest on the docket right now. He is fighting in Montana this Saturday night, Great Falls, Montana, BKFC 29. He is Mr. Red Rims himself, Brian Maxwell.
What's good, up, man? Fellas? What's up?
Yo.
Brian, where the hell you at?
Huh? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Where you at?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you see me?
We can see you.
Okay. I just got in from the gym a little bit ago. Got this last good workout in before I get on this flight in the morning.
Oh, you're not even out there.
Oh shit.
No, I leave in the morning at 5 a.m.
Shoot. And then so you got to get out there. Do you have to cut a lot of weight, or do you pretty much fight around your walk around weight when you get out there?
No, my weight's already off. I literally been on weight since Monday, actually. I cut a decent amount of weight this time because like I said, I usually walk around like 215, 218, and I cut from there to 205. But I'm actually like underweight right now, so everything's good.
Dude, so here you are making your 7th walk to the ring, right? To the squared circle. You have avoided the W so far, right? You've been in tough fights. Your first 3 fights were against like the fucking top of the top. You know what I mean? Yuli Diaz and Francisco Ricky, and I don't remember who all of them are, but I remember your first 3 fights were just absolute fucking warriors. And then your last 3, you've been in all these fights and you feeling better at all of them, and just things just haven't gone your way. What is it that's driving you to keep on going? Like, is it the fact that you feel so good going into all of these fights and you are in every one of those fights right before they finish up? Like, tell us what it is.
Man, look, what keeps me going is, man, I'm a fighter, man. It's what fighters do, man. Like I've never given up on doing something. I've always been the type to get better and figure it out and look at the small things and the bigger things to see where I'm messing up at or making a mistake at. You feel what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where, like I said, fighters fight. I've never turned down a fight because, when you get to playing that turning down fights game, promoters and stuff will be iffy with you because, saying like, I don't want to be picky and choosy. You feel what I'm saying? That's not the type of fighter I am. I get an opponent, I study, and I prepare for him. You feel what I'm saying? And
yeah,
that's just my thing. You feel what I'm saying? I've done it. I've done that since I've wrestled in high school and college. As soon as I get the name that I've got, it's game time, and it's time for me to work on what I got to work on to do to prepare for the fight.
You have a ton of support from a lot of people. I feel like you're a fan favorite for sure. Like, and you can see it in the comments and people saying how much heart you have and you never give up and this and that. And I have told you myself that I can't help but root for you. I have no problem with Bercier. I don't want Bercier to lose. I want you to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not rooting against him. I'm just rooting for you because I want to see you win and do good. There's something about the vibe you give off, your personality, your fight, your drive that makes people want to get behind you. How do you think that happened? How do you think that you got to that point where there's all these fans for you,
I feel like it all started like when I was in, like, I say high school, because I used to be the type of kid that was like always getting into trouble. I hated people because everything would tick me off, and I had a short fuse back then. I would just get in trouble for the stupidest things and for no reason. But like I always say, I finally got into wrestling, and it calmed me down, and I had something to work my ass off for. And once I got to working my ass off for it, when I first started, I got my ass whooped a lot. I got beat by a girl my very first wrestling match. I went in the back and cried. I cried because, for the simple fact that I lost to a girl. And and the first couple of weeks of wrestling practice, then I was getting my butt handed to me, even though I grew up around a bunch of guys that wrestled and watched it. It was different than when I got to doing it. But I think it really just started when I became a people person, and people like drawing to me around 10th grade, because in 10th grade, like I finally hit my mark in wrestling, and I peaked. I started beating state caliber guys, all-American guys, and we got to a regional tournament, and I went against the kid who placed second in the state the year before, and he's a senior, he's an all-American. He was going to I think UVA at the time, and we got into the regional semifinal, not the semifinals, the regional quarterfinals to go to the semifinals, and I was busting his ass, and then right there in the second period, he came back and was beating me by a point, and at the end of the round, he slammed me, and it dazed me a little bit. And when the round ended, my coach pulled me to the side. I forgot what he said to me, but what he said to me, it lit a fire under my ass, and I went out in that third period and, I destroyed that guy. I ended up beating him by 6 points because whatever, like I said, I forgot what my coach said to me, but, I lit a fire under my ass and I went ham. And after that, that was when my popularity in high school started to go through the roof. And, everybody would always call me, the wrestler, Mr. Wrestler, and, hearing my name on the school announcements every morning for placing, high in a wrestling tournament or winning a match against one of those state caliber kids. And, if I had a social media back in high school, I probably would have been probably one of the most popular athletes at my school. But, it started then. And, even more once I started hitting the local newspapers in my hometown. And like I said, everybody knew me as that wrestler. And it followed me even to in college. When I stepped into college to wrestle, I was a freshman on campus and, I was doing my thing. And, it was a first year program at the college that I went to, West Virginia Tech in West Virginia, of course. But, I became Mr. Popular on campus. I would have people who didn't even know me come into our home wrestling matches just to watch me wrestle, because the other guys, of course, they were local. I was the only kid on my college wrestling team my freshman year from out of state. The rest of the guys were West Virginia kids. And, I built that rapport up of everybody coming to watch me wrestle, man. And it's been like that ever since. Even after college, I dabbled in life for like 2 years. And once I started MMA after that, it took up to like 5 fights for somebody to even talk to me and ask me what my name was and tell me, I look pretty good out there. And from then on, man, my fan base and people knowing who I am grew, man. And, all the people I've met throughout these years of fighting and going to grappling tournaments and traveling to different gyms, man, I think I've created, support and fans. And here in my hometown too, man, like I'm a huge ticket seller. So, that helps.
Man, it's very apparent. Like when we go in, we've seen you live a couple times now, and every time you finish your fight, you come out and you hang out in the crowd, you're talking to everybody. And it's clear that the BKFC loves you too, because let's be honest, like the UFC, being 0-6 right now, but you've been in dog fights, but the UFC and like Bellator and like these other organizations, they don't give a fuck how tough your fight was. It's what your record shows. And they'll be like, you know what? We're not going to give this guy another chance and we'll send him on his way. BKFC clearly loves you. They bring you back and they want you to succeed. So they're giving you another fight. Now you're fighting this guy Bercier out in Montana. He's a tough dude, man. He's 1-1. He had a nice knockout in his first fight, and he fought Leo Pla in the last fight. What do you know about your opponent, and what can we expect out of Red Rims this time around against Bercier?
I mean, that his last fight, we were on the same fight card because he was the featured fighter. I think, was he the co-main or the featured fighter of the night? And I watched this fight that night, and I kind of sort of in the back of my mind was like, if they bring me back, I mean, I knew they would bring me back, but if I come fight in Montana again, that'll eventually be my opponent. I kind of manifested it and put it into motion, but I didn't say anything to anybody, but I kind of figured in my mind that's who I would probably fight next because, I had a lot of success as an amateur MMA fighter at 205, and, I fought 205 several times as a pro and done well. And it's like my natural weight class. And, when I got the message asking, do I want to fight him? It literally took me 5 minutes to message the matchmaker back and say, yes, I'll take that fight. And, I've done something that I haven't done in a very, very, very long time in fight camps. I actually started to lift instead of working on my technique the whole fight camp. I started to lift a whole lot more. So, a lot of people have seen me, the guys that I've trained with in different places that I've been, the different size of me right now. I'm bigger, a little bit bigger than I usually am. And, my speed has has went through the roof. And, this has been a great but hard fight camp for me. And, but it's been good. I'm going into this fight with zero emotions. Like, I've had a very clear mind this fight camp. And,
Nice.
I've watched his fight several times. And I think that was a factor for me also. Like, I usually just, look at an opponent like 1 or 2 times at the beginning of the fight camp and, try to dissect what I need to dissect then and there. But, I was having a talk with one of my striking coaches, and, he's like, you need to step it up a little bit more, watch a little bit more, because I feel, he felt like there was some things that I was missing in my opponents that I could beat them. And so I've studied him a lot. I've literally studied this man's every single move, like literally, like it's been crazy. I've never studied someone this much before in a fight camp in my life. And, it's going to be a good fight. Like, I feel great, man. I feel
good,
fast. I feel agile. I feel like I've grown a lot of knowledge, and, the different gyms, especially the guys that I've trained with in West Virginia and in Florida, they've noticed a difference in, the way I move and the way I've been, displaying of letting things, go while sparring, and my gym presence. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you're saying that your power's up. You've been lifting more. You've been trying to pack more power because you're now fighting at 205 this time. Last time was at 185, I believe. It's funny that you say that, because it's cool that we talk to you fighters, camp to camp to camp, because last camp, I believe you said you went back to your roots and you were wrestling more. You were working on your wrestling more to get your cardio up and to get your grip strength back for the clinch work. And now this time around, you're going up to 205 and you're like, instead of working on, technique, I'm hitting the weights a little more. So I really love learning, from you guys, what camp to camp to camp, opponent to opponent, you guys focus on. It's pretty cool.
Don't get me wrong. I've been working on my technique a lot, but, like I said, my last fight camp, I spent a lot of time working on a lot of technique and sparring a lot. Like, my last fight camp, I sparred literally almost 5 days a week. And I felt, this is no excuse, but it is what it is. I felt like I overlooked my opponent, and I feel like I overtrained because I was sparring so freaking much. I literally sparred 5 days a week and didn't take any days off during that fight camp. Like the day that I got off in that fight camp was the day that I flew in that last fight camp. And, I had to sit back and look at all that and change that this fight camp. Like I said, I've been lifting and working on my technique. And I think a lot of people may be a little bit more surprised with me this fight coming up Saturday.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to it. Everybody's behind you. Like I said earlier, we're not against Bercier, but a lot of people want to see you get that win. People are behind you. People like you. They want to see you stick around, man. We don't want to see you leave. So we're wishing you all the best in your next fight. And you know what time it is right now, right?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
It's the speed round time. Kyle, you get the speed round ready?
Here we go. Speed round with Mr. Red Rims himself. Hey, before we do this real quick, people are asking in the comments, are you still in contact with Ocho Cinco? You guys still talking a lot?
Yeah, I actually just talked to him last Thursday. We stay in contact pretty often because he's
awesome,
he's in camp right now because he's about to box again. And I ain't gonna give too much of that information out, but he's gonna be boxing again real soon. So
tell him to come on here and talk to us about it when he's about to fight.
And I actually, at the beginning of this fight camp, I actually got to train with him while I was in Miami for a couple of hours before he had to fly out to start his camp. So, that was awesome. So, yeah.
It's that age-old story, man. That age-old story. You fight someone and become best friends with them. It's fucking awesome. We've all done it.
It's a great story.
Yeah, and him being my favorite football player and my idol growing up, that makes it that much better, man. So I'm happy with it.
There you go, man. There you go. Number one for you in the speed round here, Mr. Red Rims. Who do you think is the most overrated fighter of all time?
Could
be boxer, could be MMA. Which one?
I don't know. Like I know so many fighters, and I've seen so many fights. I don't know.
Mike had a good answer. Go ahead.
Oh, I do got
Oh, what you got?
I got an answer. I know I'm gonna catch some flack for this, and a lot of people are gonna talk shit about it, but I feel like Conor McGregor is overrated.
That was one of the three people we mentioned when we were talking before the show. I said Fedor.
Really?
And I'll probably catch some flack for that too, but I say Fedor. I'm not saying he's not good, but I just think he's just overrated. When you talk about heavyweights and stuff, he never came to the big show. He was always over in Russia. You know, there's a lot of stigma behind where he fought. You know what I mean? So he never
That's
really kind of
understandable.
came over. You know, so
I said
like
the same people. Some people might say the same thing that Mike's saying about Fedor about Khabib, and not because Khabib dominated in the UFC. He did, but his first like 25 fights were his first like 20 fights were outside the UFC in Russia against people you've never heard of. So like we've really only seen him fight 10 times, but he retired with a 29-0 record. So it's like some people might say that too. Those are good answers though. All three of those are very common answers for that question. Number 2.
what's your all-time favorite cartoon from your childhood?
Rocket Power.
Yeah,
That was my shit as a kid. They need to put that on like Netflix or Hulu or something ASAP. Like that was my shit as a kid. I religiously watched Rocket Power all the time.
It might be on Paramount Plus. You know, the reason I say that is because I just got it like a month ago because all the Beavis and Butthead like the movie came out, so I got it to watch that, and I noticed there's all Nickelodeon stuff on there. So my kids have been watching Rugrats. So I bet
that was my
Rocket
shit
Power
too, for real.
is probably on there.
That's why I don't know what that is, Mike.
Yeah, it's a Nickelodeon show. Yeah.
I was telling Mike, like growing up, I didn't have Nickelodeon, so I have no idea what like any of these shows are. I knew Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry and Jetsons and Flintstones, shit like that. But number three. NFL starts tomorrow. Who's your team, and how far do you think they're going to go this year?
I'm a Washington Commander fan, and a lot of people hate the team because we've had 3 different names in the past 3 years. But I feel like the division's going to be a little tough this year because each team in my division, they made some power moves in the offseason. So it's anybody's ball game for real in my division. But I think my team will at least make the playoffs this year.
Okay. All right. Number 4.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I tried sushi for the first time in like 2015 when I went to when I used to go train in Nashville, Tennessee, and I tried sushi, and I felt like that was the weirdest thing I've ever ate, and I haven't eaten it since then because I thought sushi was gross.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I love it. It's nothing weird about that, but we'll leave you alone on that one. I love sushi. I'll eat it 5 times a week. Here we go. Last question for you. Here we go. This weekend, Nate Diaz fights in the UFC. Say he loses, leaves the UFC, signs with the BKFC, play matchmaker. Who would you match him up with in his BKFC debut? Nate Diaz against who?
In all reality, honestly, I would want to see him against Luis Palomino.
Ooh, okay. That's a good one.
Not bad.
That's a fantastic answer, actually. My answer was Mike Perry, but
I think Luis Palomino, just for the simple fact that they both got that big name, and that I think that's a fight that should have happened, in MMA, honestly. But that would be, say for instance, if Nate Diaz did lose this weekend, he's one of my favorite fighters. And he signed with BKFC by the end of the year. Knucklemania 3, him versus Luis Palomino, that would be fucking lit. You know how many eyes would be on that fight card if that happened?
Millions,
that would be crazy.
It would be the biggest fight they ever had in the organization for sure. Dude, awesome answer. Luis Palomino, Nate Diaz would be fantastic. You got this huge fight coming up. Good luck to you in getting that victory against Leo Bercier on September 10th in Great Falls. safe travels tomorrow. Good luck with any kind of
Yes.
weight cut you do have to do, if you have to cut any at all. And
I don't, but I'm ready for all the smoke this weekend. Like
right.
I'm excited, man. Like I'm not gonna say this is the most excited I've been to a fight about a fight, but like I'm super excited. Like I've been acting a fool for like the past 2 weeks because I'm ready to fight like tomorrow if it was to go down tomorrow. So like it's been weird, but great, and I'm loving it. I like the way I feel right now, and I don't know what he been working on in his fight camp or what he been watching, but that's not me. I'm totally different right now, and y'all will see it Saturday. I promise you that.
There you
Beautiful.
go. Dude, Brian Maxwell, Leo Bercier, Saturday night. Make sure you're tuned in. Follow him on all his social medias. And if you don't have the app, his referral code's at the bottom there. Thank you very much for your time, as always, Brian. We're looking forward to your fight on Saturday.
Thank you guys for having me, as always.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Take it easy,
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. We have one more guest for the evening here, and she's been patiently waiting in the weight room here. Thank you very much to Brian Maxwell. Man, I hope, like you just said, we don't, hope that Bercier loses, but for God's sakes, Brian's such a good dude. We're friends with him. I would consider us friendly with him now. We see him at the live events. He's nice to everybody. He's everybody's buddy. The BKFC keeps bringing him back and giving him opportunities. It would be great to see him get a W this weekend. With that said, we got one last guest for the evening. She is making her return to the BKFC Squared Circle. She's coming off a victory against Delaney Bailey. When was that? Like back?
That was Tampa. And it was a while ago.
Tampa won.
Actually.
That was Tampa won, right?
Yep.
Man, it's good to see her coming back. She's fighting the Russian girl Dmitriyeva.
Don't even try to say it.
No,
You're going to screw it up.
No. It's Dmitriyeva.
Dmitriyeva. Look, it's perfect,
dude.
Oh, look at that.
Man,
You're getting so much better.
I practiced that one.
I had so much better at names.
All right. Well, thank you. Welcome to our next guest. Her name is Jenny Savage, the Tennessee Gangster, back in the Squared Circle on Saturday. What's going on, Jenny?
Yes.
It's good to be back, guys. Nothing much, just in the process of cutting weight and just getting into my river.
Jenny, you are very, very, very quiet. We can barely hear you.
Let me fix my mic.
Let's see if we can.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
It got loud for a second.
Okay, let me fix it. These are new, so. Okay, is that better?
Yeah, way better. Way better.
Okay, I'll just hold it up to my mouth.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. You're like a reporter from
Channel 10
TikTok.
News.
Channel 10 News, yeah. So Jenny, what's going on? How are you? And welcome back to the show.
Like I said, I'm doing great. I'm just ready to step in my river and fill up.
You had a absolute war with Delaney Bailey back in Tampa. We rewatched that fight. We ran into Delaney down in Hollywood.
That was in Hollywood. Yep.
Yeah, we ran into her in Hollywood after your fight. And when we watched your guys' fight the first time, I thought they made the right decision. I thought you won 3 rounds to 2. And she was like very adamant. I won that fight. So I watched it again today, and I really feel like they got it right the first time. How did you feel about that fight against Delaney back in Tampa?
She only got me. She was really good. I felt like because I was dragged by like so many people that don't even watch bare knuckle, so many people in the MMA community who thought I should have outclassed Britain. I had to be very careful with Delaney because everyone said she was going to knock me out. So, everybody's saying I don't belong in BKFC. So I had a lot to think about. I'm not here at this point to entertain the crowd, but to reserve my place and to not prove everyone wrong, but like I said, this is just one mountain I have to get over. She wants to run it back. We can run it back so I can prove that she didn't win. I know she didn't win because my nose didn't break. I didn't bleed, not one bit. The only real clean shot she got was in the beginning, and I think that was towards the end of the first round. Other than that, I felt completely dominant. I didn't want to pull the trigger at all because I had major respect for her. But as we could see, I don't think it's mutual. It's common.
Do you, so you know what, we've talked to Christine Faria about this, about, you know, being friendly with people that are in your division and stuff, and she was like, never again am I going to be friendly with someone in my division. Does it make it that much harder?
Yeah, it does, because I just want to see this sport grow. I don't care about the I care about entertaining with my hands. I feel like I mean, if you can't see my lot, this is where I live. This is a project, okay? I was a full-time student, and I dedicated my entire life to this, including my education. I had a detour with Britain Hart, but I felt she was the best option for me, being that I was trying to line myself up for Paige Van Zandt, a fight that I was potentially in the line for. So I felt like that would have moved me out of this situation I'm in. And I had to graduate, so I was a full-time student. And come May, I graduated, finally, after 4 years, and going through the pandemic and my son's father killing himself. It was a lot to deal with. So I've completely changed and revamped my style. I'm not an eye candy kind of girl. I may have been born with looks, but I can assure you that was not earned. You know, what I do is earned. I have earned my stripes. I deserve my flowers. I love the BKFC. I love David Feldman. I have no quarrels against him. But somebody is inside the BKFC refusing to promote me. They've done it from the beginning of the time, and I'm sick of this shit. Excuse my language. I've been quiet. I've sat back. So I'm to the point where now we're not going to play it safe. I'm coming all out, okay? I done watched Top Gun, all right? Maverick. I feel like I'm ready to go past Mach 10. You feel me? I'm tired of being judged. That's fine. People can judge me, but I won't sit here and take any more of what I don't deserve. You know, like I don't think I'm entitled to anything aside from peace and rest. So that is what I'm coming into this fight with a rested mind from all this time of sitting back and watching everything play out. I'm just grateful for Christine Faria's guidance. Most of all, it'll be her birthday when I fight, so you better believe I'm bringing everything I got.
You know, and I like what you just said there, and I said this last week on the show. When people say that they deserve something, I deserve this, I fucking absolutely hate that. We're both military people, and I tell my guys, nothing's deserved, it's always earned. You fucking earn it. You don't deserve shit. So don't come in here thinking you deserve something. You need to earn it. And you just basically said that out loud. I mean, now that's exactly the way I see things. With that said, with your complaints against not getting promoted and stuff, I got to ask you about what just happened with your event Saturday night. First of all, did you feel slighted that you weren't in the title fight to begin with for the 115-pound division? Because when you went down to 115, you said, this is my division. I'm the one. Everyone's going to have to go through me. But then they announce a title fight for 115 and you're not in there. I feel like you must have felt like kicked in the gut there. Am I wrong? No,
I'm humble about that. I believe that from the beginning, I knew that I didn't have very many options to gain respect due to the fact that men don't have to show their balls to get attention. Okay? We have to show our titties, literally. We have to show, you know, we got to wear makeup. We gotta literally move that around because, you know, I have all these qualities. That's not enough. I believe that I'm trying to get the words together for the right thing to say.
Sure.
Take your time.
I think I don't, you know, so I think that from my perspective, rather, I can see what you're saying by not being you know, pushed enough and stuff like that. And I've heard complaints from other people about not being promoted as much and stuff like that. So I know it's not just you. I really think that the company is getting so big that they're getting too big for their own good at this point. Like they're going to say, you know, someone said it when we were there, like, hey, right now the company's small, everybody's friendly. When you go on the road, you kind of know everybody who works for the company and this and that. But as this company grows so fast, it's going to become more corporate and more people. But I think at this time, they're probably about ready to start ramping up their the people that work there, the people who promote. They got to get a bigger staff going, because I don't think they can keep up with this many events, this many people, because yes, you should be pushed more. Absolutely. Of course you should.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not mad that I don't have the title fight. No one knows who the fuck I am. This would be my fourth BKFC fight. And let me tell you, people only know me for 3 seconds, and that's getting rocked for a fight that I stood on my 2 feet and did not give up. I didn't quit. I didn't cry. I applauded my opponent. I told her I was not going to apologize because I meant what I said. And it's still not, the hatchet is not buried. I have the utmost respect for Bret Hart, and I always have. I want her to do very well. As a matter of fact, I want her to win this fight, and I want her to win in an impressive fashion. I want her to do great. Now, the one thing that I can say is a little unfair is the fact that she just had a flyweight fight, and she won. So you would think that she would have to go back in line. But she did say that she was going to come for the 115 spot, and, I mean, who are they going to pick, me or her? No one knows who I am, so she needs to be in that spot. I'm a little disappointed that it's against Sharissa now. Sharissa does not deserve it. She's ran through. She's literally the worst fighter in the entire division, and she only uses her sex appeal. She falls, and she's given too many opportunities. I've got way more problems with her than that, and I don't think I'm going to give her the time of day when she loses to Britain. So
that was Jenny. Yeah. That was going to be my question when the Fanny Palumpi, I think I just got her name right. Yeah. When Fanny's. So for anybody that doesn't know, we got pretty decent information from a pretty good source. That's not exactly 100% confirmed, but from what I'm being told is Fanny's visa got denied because she's not vaccinated, and her and her team had put in for an exemption to get the visa, even though she's not vaccinated, and they fucking denied it, which is absolutely insane. If you ask me, that's complete bullshit. If that's true, then I cannot take this vaccine COVID shit anymore. Fucking get rid of it. So that was that, right? So her visa gets denied. She can't come to the country to fight. They give it. Did they call you, or did they just?
No, nobody even mentioned a belt to me. Nobody, like I said, go look me up on YouTube. You only see people hating on me, replaying Gangster Gets Owned or something like that. And that's about it. You don't have the fight, my debut. Like, look at every other girl. I'm the only one that does not get pushed. I don't know if it's because I love Jesus a lot. You know, I started to become a heavy, people's eyes, heavy religious after my son's dad died because, suicide is serious, okay? It's not for everyone else. It's just for me to get myself in check because I don't want to go down the same road. I was very depressed, so, it's so funny that my message is suicide and these people keep fucking with my head.
Right. Like Jenny, I actually wanted to give you an opportunity to speak on this because September is Suicide Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And I got the information at the bottom of the screen there.
Thank you so much.
Did you guys know? I did not know this. And we go through suicide awareness training constantly in the Army. Like they constantly, because we deal with it as well. And we're so sorry for your loss with your son's father.
Thank you so much.
We've dealt with it as well in our unit, and we've had soldiers right close to us that have taken their lives. Now, the numbers at the bottom of the screen, I didn't even know this. You could just dial 988.
88, yes.
Yeah, and it's like dialing 911. But if you're ever feeling a certain way, like you might be thinking about taking your life or having suicidal ideations, you dial 988, and somebody will talk to you, and hopefully get you back on track. But with that said, we wanted to give you an opportunity to speak on this because last week we had Caleb Harris on, and Caleb Harris, after his last fight, went through some mental health issues. He realized that something was going on with him and he needed to get that shit in check before something bad happens. He got himself straightened out to the point where he thinks he can get back to training, and now he's back to training, and now he's got a fight coming up. you've also dealt with mental health awareness, suicidal stuff in your life. Go ahead and take a minute to talk about how important that is for anybody that's watching.
Thank you so much. I don't want to be one of those people that said, hey, I could have been in the Army, but these scars that are on my arms, they're, probably can't see them. You probably can't see them, but there's scars. And when I went to MEPS, I had to strip down, do the duck walk, and they noticed it. And I lied. I said it was a fence. But then eventually they got it out of me because I was still suicidal. And I got denied. I got denied from going into the National Guard. And that was going to be what I thought was going to be my everything. And I went to JROTC. I did the Raider team. I did the whole thing. I even was a little drill sergeant for our team at Montgomery Central High School. So that was my goal. That was literally my life path, other than wrestling. And I had my son, my son's father. I had my son at 16. That's why I'm a little sensitive about this whole thing, because we were high school sweethearts, and there was no one in this world I felt that understood me like my son's father. And eventually we had to break up because I proposed to him, and he was really upset with me, and it messed with his mental health, I guess, that a woman was proposing to him. And we were young too. He said, I'm supposed to be able to take care of you and things like that. And so he ended up still taking my ring. And I found out that he got on crack cocaine and meth and all kinds of things. And I didn't know until our friend, who has since passed away, had told me that he was doing drugs with her boyfriend, and she caught them. So when I left him, it was a very hard thing for me. And being a kid, my mother put him on child support, and he was stuck paying back child support. And he was struggling. But he moved on. He moved away. He got with another woman, had babies with her. And I think he never stopped with the substance issues. And I think that eventually he couldn't get happy on his own, and a pandemic came. And it was like a week before my birthday, 2020, around April 10th, and he called me up, and he said he wanted to talk to Caden, and he wanted to FaceTime our son. And I was like, man, Richard may have really gotten around to doing something, but the sign was that I didn't think about it like that, but he's never FaceTimed me before. And looking at his face, and his cheeks were a little sunken in, and I just want people to know that there's signs like that. They're not going to outright come out and tell you, and but they're going to hint. They're going to sprinkle little bits of love, and they're going to tell you how much you mean to them. And if they haven't told you that in a long time, you need to check on them. I think that's real important for people. Mm-hmm. I got the phone call about 9 days after my birthday, and about less than a month before my son's birthday. He was turning 12, and wow. The last time he seen his dad and him didn't have a good time with each other, so we kind of kept our distance. So, long story short, I can say that if you have somebody that's dealing with substance abuse, I honestly, I think I don't know exactly what to do other than talk to family, because I didn't take the proper steps. But I just want to be a poster child for what it looks like to lose your mind after not doing the right thing.
So in our unit, and we like Kyle said, we do training all the time. And during our annual training in June, they took different groups of people and put us in a room and gave us a scenario, and then tested basically every different group on how they would react to it. And it's all over the place, because you get everyone has a different sign, gives off different signs, or none at all. Some people are just so withdrawn. They just, that might be the sign, but you don't realize it because they're always withdrawn. And just the reactions too. Like even during the scenarios, people don't know what to do. Like they're nervous and it's not even a real situation, but we're trying to act like it is. And everybody reacts differently. So it's just so difficult because you don't know what to say, when to say, how to say, how far do you go? And a lot of people feel like they're pressuring. Like, I don't want to pressure. What if, oh, it's okay. It's very, very tough. It's a very, very tough situation to deal with for anybody. And there's always, hindsight is 2020. So, and that's the toughest thing about it. Cause then, like you said, there's these things that you've noticed. And then, but at that point you're like, you can't beat yourself up about it. Cause it's, you just don't know. If you did, you would have done something. So it's not, it's not on the person. It's just so tough. And it's good to get the word out and let people know that there is help. You can call people up down at the bottom of the screen. Like we said, dial 988 and you will get some help. So definitely a good message to put out.
Thank you. And thank you guys for having this a part of your show, because this is a serious matter, A lot of my friends have had boyfriends, friends, girlfriends take their lives since the pandemic. And I could not believe it. I thought that was the real pandemic, is locking us down and having us away from the sun, telling us we can't exercise outside, telling us we can't go work out at the gym. Not just that, but it's going to be hard for us to eat adequately sometimes because everybody's buying everything up, at least where I am. And, I think that one thing, if you know that you're getting depressed or anxious, I think that it's important for you to take probiotics, work on your GI gut, like your gut, because that has a lot to do with depression. And I made a post about it earlier on Facebook, but your feet also play a part. The arch of your foot must be like massaged out. Make sure you don't have any corns. Make sure you don't have any hard skin. Get your feet looked at. I mean, go to someone you trust, because those places can be pretty nasty too. But, if you have any hard skin on your big toe, shave that off, because that will give you brain fog. So there's a lot of things that you could do outside of just taking medication, like taking your vitamins and things, going outside. And, just taking a day off and resting. And I mean, I don't know if people have faith. I've recently revamped my faith with God. We were using that word earlier. But I revamped my faith in God, and it has taught me how to rest in the Lord. And we don't have to do all this working and fighting. We rest in Him, and He fights. I know how this story ends, and I feel like if people just knew this, if they knew this truth, and I'm not trying to force my religion, no different than I would try to force, mental health awareness on a suicidal person, that don't want to hear it. They just want to be heard. I just want to say that that's an option that has saved me, and I think I'd be silly if I didn't mention it as a solution.
I thought it was important that we talk about that with you. I know this is a combat sports show and whatever, but Mike and I are also veterans, and we're actively in the military, and I am actually the first sergeant for 247 soldiers. So I'm responsible for all these fucking guys and girls, and I care for all of them, and I want them all to realize, if you're watching this show right now, that if you have anything that you feel is on your mind, you can talk to me, you can talk to Mike, you can talk to the numbers at the bottom of the screen, you can talk to Jenny. People will listen. You can talk to Caleb Harris. He said it the other day on the show. He said, anytime, if you feel like you got nobody to talk to, you can just inbox me. I might not get to you tomorrow, but I'll get to you. You know what I mean? Yep. But anyways, dude, awesome. That's a good message. It's an educated person in the matter, and it's a serious matter, and it is September, so we should have talked about it.
And the fight game is 90% mental,
That's right. Yep. 90% mental. Let's get back to that fight game real quick, Jenny.
Yeah.
You're fighting Nika. Her name is Veronica, but I didn't research on this, Mike. I don't know if you did, but her name, she goes by the name of Nika. I didn't know that. Veronica Dmitriyeva, the Russian bomb. Now, I went and I watched as many videos as I could on this girl. I'm sure you've done the same, but a lot of her video, like, she's an MMA fighter, but she's mostly she's a grappler, and she's a submission artist. Much like you're a jiu-jitsu girl. Mm-hmm. Can you even get anything like much out of the footage that you watch of the Russian bomb that you can use to game plan for this? Because when I was watching, I saw her rolling around on the floor a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. that's similar to my style, other than that fight that I had with Taylor Starling where we just kept it standing. That was only because they expected me to grapple, and that kind of upset me a little bit. So I said, I could strike too, you know. So I believe that she may be having that because I had developed my jiu-jitsu because I kept getting taken down because I wanted to strike. So I believe she's going to be really excited to strike. I think she's going to be really wild. She's going to throw a really wild, heavy overhand right. She's definitely going to grab me a bit. Maybe she don't want to do that. Maybe I'll warn her, you know, with a good pop or two that she might not want to make that choice. But I think she's going to be very unpredictable as far as the brand new fighter. I usually don't doubt MMA fighters coming into bare knuckle because to feel like your hands are like, you know, it's similar to boxing, but to feel like you have nothing on your hands means that you just want to rapid fire and take the enemy out. So I can imagine I'm not the most, I guess, calm fighter, or I guess she's gonna be pretty scared, but not in a bad way. I think she'll just be scared like anybody would be scared in a fight against a veteran.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight, but you know what? If she did watch your last fight with Delaney, now if she watched your first fight with Sheena, and then your fight with Britain, they were war. Like you went right at Sheena, and you know took her out as fast as you can. You were landing bombs right off the rip. You
Right.
and Britain were just going the fuck at it for 3 rounds, I think, and like
Yeah.
and I was very surprised by Britain's clinch game in that, because I thought she was going to stay on the outside and try to pick you apart from the outside, and you would try to get in and try to pick her apart on the inside.
Yeah.
But like you guys spent most of that fight in the friggin' clinch. So
Yeah.
if she watched those two, she would think I'm in for a real dirty fight here. But
Yeah.
then you fought Delaney and you stayed back and you kind of let Delaney come at you, and you were like picking your shots more. There was a different Jenny in the Delaney fight than the first two. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and if you've ever watched my MMA fights, it's sort of how I train. Every fight is different. I think it's because my life is ever changing, and I always have to readjust. There's always something, it's like every day there's something new that is like in my face. And so it causes me, my own life outside of fighting causes me to fight differently. Because, you know, like, I don't think that maybe Britain would have gotten that side of me as far as like picking a fight with her after she, you know, she said something about my height and how I only have an overhand. So I felt challenged. And I said, you know what? Why don't you be my next fight? You know what I mean? So you sound so confident. And I knew I probably wasn't going to win, but I thought that I would have made it the distance. Being that I clinched with her was probably my biggest mistake. Because I got a little sloppy, a little loose. But I admit I had a really solid coach, but my coach was best friends with Joey. And towards the fight, like the end of the fight camp, my coach goes, Jenny, are you sure you got this? And when he said that, I was like, does my cat believe I'll win this fight? You know, does anybody believe I'll win this? My mom didn't. Nobody believed really, besides people that just support just the, you know, the casual fans that don't know anything. And it's just like, I felt like that was something I had to do ahead of time because I knew Taylor coming in, they were going to try to match me up with her, and I wanted to have the payday that I felt I deserved. So I said, well, why not? Let's do this, you know? So I was being strategic.
Okay. Did you notice that Taylor covered the tattoo?
Yeah. After the first, when I met her, after her fight, I said, why did you get that mole? And she was like, I didn't get it because of you. I didn't know that I had it because of you, or that you. And I'm like, yes, you did, man. That's,
you pointed that out when the last time you came on the show. You said that she got the tattoo in the exact same spot as you on the face.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was a tattoo. I thought it was just a mole on her face, a little
I had no idea.
beauty mark. And then you pointed that out, and I was just like, holy shit, it is in the exact same spot. It's great. But now she covered it. She's branched out.
And I think she looked better with it, but I'm glad she covered it because now we can, you know, stop being yin and yang. I'm not trying to be yin and yang with her. It's like I felt like she was brought in for us to have a slut off. You know, I'm not saying that she's a slut. She's not. She's a woman that works for whatever she's got to do to feed and provide her family. But let's be real. They wanted us to show our ass and tits, cracks of our coochies and stuff, and I'm not here for that. You know what I mean? So I didn't want that fight just yet. I want to build that up. So many people thought that, oh, it was an MMA fight, so it doesn't matter. And I'm just like, okay, well then fine, let her, fight Britain and see if she can last 3 rounds with her. That's why I'm excited to see Sarissa fight Britain, so that people will finally shut up about how bad I fight. Like, that fight between me and Britain, people don't get it. We did not like each other. That's a whole different style of fighting right there.
Yes.
She's not fighting what she was taught. I'm not fighting what I was taught. We were trying to rip each other's eyeballs out. And the minute I blacked her eye, her corner, after I watched all the fights and I got to see in her corner, they were commanding that she take me out. And so she felt pressure from her gym. She trained three times a day. She had to up the ante, and I was meeting her momentum as she was going up. But let me tell you, a rematch will not look the same. I have a whole brand new team. I have a support system like never before. My face, I didn't even have face. I have a face so strong. I can't even tell you. I have to show you. So I'm looking forward to her winning this belt. I'm looking forward to them hyping this up. I know that they're building up the rematch. And when she wins, she'll more than likely probably fight Taylor or somebody else. They'll probably deny me again and again. But there'll be a victory, and when the crowd commands that they want to see me, that'll be when you see more of me. But until then, I'm just here until they don't want to see me no more.
With that said, if you get the win, you go in there, you win against
Dmitriyeva.
That savage Russian.
The Russian bomb. You go in there, you get the win, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they do. They only do the in-ring interviews for the last couple fights of the night, but somebody's going to interview you backstage. And unfortunately, Mike and I will not be at this one because we have obligations for the military this weekend. So we're not traveling to Montana. Thank you.
Thanks.
We've been going to all the events. We've been doing a lot of the backstage interviews and stuff. And I wish we were at this one, but you're going to talk to somebody and you're going to have a microphone in front of your face. And I think it's important that you say that, I should be the one that fights the winner of this main event. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be quiet.
Well, I think at this point, if they keep making me fight every 6 months, I'm going to need if I have a bigger fight. So I might call out Taylor, because that's just a bigger money fight. I think Taylor's verified. She got Christine verified. Britain's not verified. No offense to her. I'm not trying to piss nobody off. I love that belt, but I want money. I'm trying to move. The cost of living has went up so damn much in where I live. Everybody's moving to Nashville, and everybody in Nashville is moving to Clarksville, and it is becoming unbearable. Like, I can't believe it. I might have to leave my hometown.
It's getting that crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's traffic. It takes an hour to get anywhere.
Ugh.
People want to drive real slow or really fast, and it provokes you to do either one. And everybody got bright lights and everything else, so it's hell. So I need money. I love the glory. I do it for the glory because I do it for the glory of God. But I can't do this much longer like this if I can't afford to live. I'm not doing OnlyFans, so I'm literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already planned on going back to the workforce, but I just graduated college, so this fight came up. Got to get this fight going. I'm gonna go back to the workforce, and I hope that I impress everybody. I'm really hoping for a knockout. I can't expect that from my opponent is not going to be that good, just because this is her debut. I really think she's the most dangerous person on this card due to the fact that her back's going to be against the wall.
I hear that a lot. People that you don't know, you don't know what they're going to do. They're just
right
all over the place. You don't know where the punches are coming from. You have no idea because you just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I'd be foolish to think she's just going to come in and be an easy fight, just because of her situation.
I think the 115-pound division now that it's being pushed, that there is going to be a title, I think it's going to work out great because you're right there. You fought there. You're fighting again. You and if Britain wins, even better because now you guys have a history like it.
Right.
I do think that you might see Taylor come down too. So
You got
I think
Andy.
you're
You
going to
got
be
Andy
pushed way
Wynn.
more now.
You got Andy
Yep.
Wynn.
Ha!
You got
Andy Wynn, she's a runner. She needs to go to track.
Yeah, okay. All right. So Andy Wynn, you got Jamie Hinshaw that just fought in Albuquerque. She'd be interesting coming up to 115. There's girls out there, man. It should be an interesting division that they're building right there. Jenny, would you be down for a speed round with us?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Speed round with Jenny Savage, and then we'll let you get going here. Number one question: what is your favorite thing to do with your son?
I love skateboarding with that man. He is. Man,
that's right. You skate. You're pretty damn good too. We've seen videos. You've been skating your whole life?
Yeah, I skated, and that's how I met his dad. We got into skateboarding together, and then I got knocked up, and my little sister somehow finessed my family or finessed me to get my family to take my board from me. So I've been on a hiatus.
You're back on it. You know what you should do to drum up some fandom and like sponsorship and everything? Tony Soto, Jenny Savage, do a skate video together.
Yeah,
we'll do it. We'll do it for
Let's get that shit together.
Hell yeah.
We'll film it. Mike will edit the video.
Yeah.
The Savage Soto video coming soon. What do you think?
Let's do it. I mean, I've got kick flips, heel flips, and ollies, but that's enough, right?
Oh, okay.
Better than I can do.
Tony will be the one doing gaps off of tractor trailers and shit.
Yeah.
That's him. I can do ramps. I can go up and down ramps, but
that's
it's
cool.
been a minute.
Very cool. Very cool hobby you got there. Number 2.
Thank you.
Would you rather watch a Marvel or Star Wars movie?
All right. Shout out to Hayabusa, my sponsor. We going with Marvel all day. Okay.
Dude, me too. There's just so much more. There's so much more. It's so better. All the new stuff coming out, all the series and everything.
It's more betterer.
Betterer. Me and my kids watch. So during the pandemic, you spend a lot of time at home, and me and the kids, I got 2 boys, we watched every single Marvel movie in chronological order in a row. Like it took us almost the whole year. It was like 24 movies or something like that. But when you watch them, if you watch them in timeline order, they all came out in different orders. But if you line them up and watch them all, it's one gigantic story, like 24 movies long. It's fucking unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable.
Different universes and everything.
Yeah, that's right. That's why your answer was the correct one. Number 3, what's something that you've always wanted to try but you never had a chance to do?
I've wanted to leave North America. I've wanted to go to China. I have been practicing Mandarin for about 4 years or so, on and off.
Really?
And I was trying to go to the Philippines and South Korea, but the Philippines got canceled because I was warned about, like, my son could have issues coming back home. And what else? Oh, I was supposed to go to South Korea for my travel abroad in college, but that got canceled due to the pandemic.
Ugh.
And then I wanted to go fight in China, but then that got canceled because I was a grappler and the girl was susceptible. It was for M1 Global against some crazy Russians. Now look, they're back.
Full circle. You could speak pretty good Mandarin? Like, could you have a full conversation?
I know enough to shock Chinese people. They every time they go, you know Mandarin! Oh my gosh! And they'll go, like I could say, 我是老师, which is I'm a teacher, or 我不知道, which is I don't know, and 不, which is not or no, or 是, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and the alphabet is, which is really cool. You guys should learn it. It's and then we'll sing Walping. That's a different sound.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've watched videos of this. I forget what this guy's name is. He's like a young guy, and he lives in China, and like he'll go around and like order food from different little restaurants and stuff like that, and he'll go to like all like the markets and buy stuff, and that's basically what he does because he's so good at like, and he speaks a bunch of different types. I mean, I don't know all the names of all the different languages and stuff, but he's so good at it that, like you said, they're like, what? Like they can't even believe it when he starts ordering food and stuff. They're like, holy, you can see people at other tables like look over like, what the hell? I can't believe that guy just said that. You know, it's pretty amazing because it's not easy. That's like, I think it's like one of the hardest languages to learn.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
and what's crazy is I learned right before the pandemic, and I knew because I was watching the news. Some of the news that was coming internationally, because that's how you learn. You know, you watch your shows, you look up as much news as you can. And the news was saying that people were seizing up, that they were just convulsing. This was around October 2019.
Damn.
And that's how long ago I knew this pandemic was coming, due to me just having a curiosity of the Chinese language. I just remember my grandfather, he served in Vietnam, and he died, man. When he died kicking and screaming about, you know, better not, you know, lose our freedom to communism. And the way he died really interested me and intrigued me to learn Chinese. Not because I love Chinese people. I just, you know, clearly it worked because I've seen the pandemic coming. So just looking into the east side of the world could be it's like a gold mine, you know, of information.
That is an extremely interesting fact about Jenny Savage, that she can speak Mandarin. You know what I was thinking when you two were talking? All I kept picturing was Wayne's World, when that dude that tried to sign them to the company ordered the Chinese at the restaurant for the whole table, and they all Rob Lowe's character. Yeah, it's funny as hell, man. Nobody knew what to think about it. All right, number 4.
Would you rather never run again or swim again?
Oh, that's a hard one, man. Because I love swimming and I love running. Well, I guess I would rather never swim again, because I went all summer without swimming this year. Like, so I guess I could go. I can't go without running. So, you know, you got to run for your life. You gotta run.
Yep.
There you go.
My answer.
Last question for you. What's the best way to spend your Sunday?
I'm glad you asked. I typically don't spend time on social media, unless it's like, you know, I want to post an inspirational scripture or something. But I love going to my church. I feel like there's a movement, a real great awakening that's coming, and I could spend a whole week. I tell you what, I might end up going to work in the church because it's just so peaceful. I just love the work that they do for people. I love helping people, and that's where I like to spend my Sunday. That, and then I love going to see my Omi, which is grandma in German. I love visiting her and helping her with her garden and all her vegetables. So.
Dude, awesome interview with you. I'm glad you came on, Jenny.
Thank you.
I'm glad there's no ill will. I don't know if you could say it in Mandarin that you are our friend.
I will say 我爱你 and 不可惜谢谢你. What is it? I'm trying to say I'm sorry. So you said 不可惜, and I say no. Dang it! I'm getting these mixed up. See, I'm on the spot. I know these things, but yes,
hey,
it's
it's
okay.
all good.
I just really had a hard loss to Britain. We didn't like each other very much, and if you can't tell, everybody in that motherfucker cheered, and everybody was just not just cheering, but they were like, it was like they just defeated Hitler or something. I don't know what happened up in there. I've never heard a building so loud, and I felt a little robbed, but I think it was necessary because I did have my nose got broke. So I guess, you know, any further damage, it was just unnecessary. So I'm glad that
she has a huge following. And you know what? She has a huge following, and she did. And like, let's be honest, like whoever got that Paige Van Zandt card basically got the lottery ticket. Whoever was on the BKFC roster that got that card, if you beat Paige Van Zandt, everyone knows you now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, let's be honest. Like her star grew that night, and I'm surprised yours didn't, because you were kind of part of that show as well.
Right. Here's the thing, right?
Right.
I think that you are much more like than you give yourself credit for. I think that there are just so many friggin' negative people on the internet, as we know, and we see it every day. Screw those people.
Well, it's more important people
You
that
know,
don't like me, though. That
Yeah,
makes a difference.
You know what? It's all about you and your happiness and what you do. You don't have to explain to us how you felt. We watch the fights, we see it. You don't have to give us any reasons or anything like that. We totally understand. You guys put your heart and soul into all this fighting, and this is your life. You train day to day. We get it. And we're behind you, and we're behind the whole fight game. We want people to get behind this this sport and push it. This is our passion. You know, we want people to know about this. So as they grow, you will grow.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to seeing Tennessee legalize bare knuckle because I'm working hard. I'm telling
Hell
you.
yeah.
I'm working
It needs
hard
to be
for it.
legalized. I mean, we talked to David Feldman down in, where the hell were we just at, Mike? Albuquerque. We were in Albuquerque. And when I talked to him, what did he say? We'll have to go, if you guys go back on our YouTube and watch the interview with David Feldman, he said that we're going to be in like 35 states or something like that next year.
Wow.
Something like we're looking.
They're working hard.
They're working really hard to spread this out all over the United States. It's getting legalized in states at a much faster rate than mixed martial arts did in the early 90s. So if that tells you anything, the trajectory that the UFC was on back then, it took them fucking 10 years to be everywhere, or, you know, it took them 25 years to get.
Yeah,
it took them 25 years to get in every single state. I don't even know if they're illegal in.
Wow.
But
yeah, they were illegal. MMA was illegal in Tennessee for a little while when I first joined. It was scary. I was like, how the hell are we supposed to compete?
Right.
We had to compete in Kentucky.
You're in there. You're in there. You're making a name for yourself. You have a huge fight this weekend. Everybody go follow her on her Instagram and her Facebook. Do you do a lot on Facebook, or is it mostly Instagram? Both.
Facebook is more personal. Instagram is more business. But I mean, they can follow me either one.
Go on her Instagram, follow her, get her verified. If you don't have the app, use a referral code at the bottom, help her out, and tune in this Saturday when she fights. Say the name again.
I thought you practice it.
I forgot it. Dmitriyeva. That's what it is.
Dmitriyeva. You got it.
Yeah, Nika Dmitriyeva. That's right. The Russian Bomb. When Jenny Savage takes on the Russian Bomb this Saturday. Thank you for opening up about the mental health and the suicide awareness stuff. It's very important to everybody during this, especially this month. If you want, take a few seconds, say a few last words, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Well, first I want to thank my manager, Kevin Smith. He's done a phenomenal job with getting me this opportunity. If it wasn't for him, I probably would be back in MMA or working somewhere. One of them skyscrapers in Nashville. I want to thank my sponsors. Let me say I want to thank my team, my coach, Kelvin, David, Jay. I want to thank Mike Merriman. I want to thank Adrian Thomas. I want to thank everybody who was involved with helping me grow for this camp. Whereas before I had like one coach. My sponsors, KO Photography, Pure Envy, Fat Shack, Halftime, Hayabusa. Shout out to Hayabusa. Iron Jaw, Millions. Okay, we got the Millions going here. New shirt coming soon. Go check them out.
Oh no.
You're freezing.
I'm trying to take her out of that.
Oh no.
I think it worked. Look, it worked. You're back.
All right, you're back. You froze up for a second there. After you announced your new T-shirt coming soon, you kind of like froze in place.
Oh, Iron Neck and Natural Shilajit. There we go.
There it is. Jenny, thank you very much for coming on. We will be tuned in this weekend. We won't be there, but we'll be watching and supporting. Best of luck in your fight this weekend, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm just glad to be here.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank
you. All right. There she was, Jenny. Dude. Okay. Let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
She should be pushed.
Yeah.
Because anybody can go back and just watch this interview that we just did with her. She is a very interesting, likable person. She has an incredible story, especially with her son and her son's father. An incredible story. I mean, the whole Mandarin thing, the skating thing, the
wrestling.
She tried to join the army and she got kicked from.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I know a lot of things. I just learned a lot.
We just learned a shitload about Jenny Savage tonight that we didn't know before, and we appreciate her coming on for sure.
That's the cool thing about this show. We have all these people on that I don't know much about. I mean, yeah, we do all this. Hey, I'm going to look up the fights and I'm going to look up the bio and I'm going to do this and that. But here's the thing. Once you get to talking to them and you start asking these questions, you don't know where it's going to go. You just learn all this different shit, man. It's fantastic, really. I love it. This is what we want people to see. You got the fighter. You see them fight. BKFC app. Download it, $4.99. Best fucking deal in combat sports. But then you come to the Mike and Mish show while you're there and you learn about these fighters and who they are. They're human beings and what they do behind the scenes, because they only fight that one night. And you know what? They train during the week, but they have lives outside of that. And it's
they have
crazy,
interesting
all the
lives.
stuff they do.
You never know how deep and interesting some of these fighters' lives are.
Yep.
And I mean, it like that right there. That one right there just fucking blew me away, because I didn't know. I knew, we knew some stuff. She's been on the show before, and she talked about, and I thought that it was important that she talked about what happened with her father and like
Her son's father.
I mean, her son's father, because this is awareness that people need to be aware of. This is shit that people need to be aware of, and they need to know how to handle that shit, and they need to know how to approach a situation if it may come up in their lives. And there's avenues that they could take, and there's numbers that they could call, and there's people they could reach out to instead of keeping their mouth shut. And I know that she went through it. So I thought that was cool. She was very open about that.
Mm-hmm.
The fight with her opponent this weekend, I gotta say that I could feel, I feel for her on the Segala thing. And we like Charissa Segala as well. Like we like all these fighters, but when I saw that Britain's fighting Segala, my very, very first thought was, did they offer it to Jenny? Because she's already on the card, and she's one of the top 115ers already. And they've done that in the past. Like when
at this point, she probably is the top 115.
Right. And when Josh Burns lost Frank Tate, what they do? They took Bobo O'Bannon from the lower part of the card, and they brought him up and gave him an opportunity against not Bobo,
Josh Burns.
Yeah, they brought Frank. Okay, Burns was supposed to fight Kleckler. They lost Kleckler. Yeah. Frank Tate got brought up to fight Josh Burns, and he had
Kalmus was supposed to fight.
Yes. Right. So and Bobo fought Kalmus in Frank Tate's place. But I'm saying, like, that was my first thought. I was like, Jenny's already on the card. They had to have offered that, right? They had to, like, but then on the other, and then I started thinking, like, she wouldn't have turned it down. Like, there's no way she would have turned down a title opportunity,
right,
on a rematch with someone that she has a past with. So I feel for her in that one. I'm surprised that didn't get offered. That's just me personally.
To play the other side of that is
you're building up a future fight,
right? Because they know we didn't get to promote this fight, and this is a very, very promotable fight. We don't want to just have it just out of the blue. That's probably what they were thinking. Like, oh, you know what? We're not going to give it to her, because if Britain happens to win this fight, then we have a rematch and we can promote that for the next 3 or 4 months and get people hyped about it, because they have the history.
Right.
They don't want the history to come and go in one day. That's likely what they thought, I would imagine.
And then so what you're saying is Britain wins a title. So, scenario, if Britain wins a title, Jenny beats her opponent. February, Knucklemania 3. They come full circle. Knucklemania 1, they had their first run in. She dumped water on Jenny. They had a little skirmish in the ring on Knucklemania 1. 2 years later, Knucklemania 3, at 115-pound titles on the line in this grudge match rematch. I see what happen,
dude. And if Segala wins, then they have another fight there, because I mean, shit. Go ahead and use some of the stuff you heard on this show right here.
Yeah, she does not like Segala. We learned these things today. But here's the full card for Saturday. I'm gonna just pop it up there, Mike. That's the new card right there. So
there it is.
Saturday night, you got Britton and Charissa at the top there. You got Riggs and Dyer, Stewart and Crowder. Those are 3 bangers right there. But then you got Jenny. She moved up. They had her lower on the card. They moved her up. Red Rims against Bercier. And then there's and my eyes suck. So there's a bunch of they got that. Isn't Brandon, what's his name? Brandon Tovey. Is he on there?
He was.
He was. I don't see him.
I don't see him anymore either. So maybe he's off the card now too. There's a lot of changes happening lately, so I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, he was on there. I guess not anymore.
I love
the guys from the Weekly Bust were in here earlier. If they were still here, still listening, let us know. Let us know in the comments what happened there, because I think that's their guy.
Are we doing a view? Ben, are you asking if we're going to do a viewer show, as in like
we're going to fight companion?
A fight companion? I don't think so, because we have drill this weekend.
We do have drill this weekend, so probably not.
We can't pull that off. But hey, before we go for the rest of the night, let you guys go for the night. Can we talk about if that is true about Fanny not being able to come over? How fucking ridiculous is this shit now? Come on. Like, honestly, if she tests negative, if she doesn't have COVID, then fucking let her go. What the hell?
Here's the thing, right? She lives in Thailand, so we're not talking about United States rules here. We're talking about the laws in Thailand, which are much different. I heard they're way stricter than they are here, like super crazy about it. So that's another thing. Like, traveling internationally, it's dumb either way. Because here's the thing: I don't want to get too, because for whatever reason, a health friggin' crisis became fucking political, which is the dumbest thing ever. It's like, it's your health. It's supposed to be like HIPAA, private. But anyways, listen, a lot of people in the world got fucking vaccinated. And if it's to work, then you don't have to worry about people not being vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, don't worry about them, right? You're going to be okay. So just let these people travel. I don't know. So whatever.
The Thailand visa people are our stew nods of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. God damn it.
But congratulations to Charissa for getting a short notice title fight, and she's a gangster for taking it on 3 days notice. That is nothing to fucking.
She's working up to the England card, UK.
So Paige is not fighting Segala in Denver, so now we got to figure that out. Yeah, we got to figure that out now. But hey, guys, tomorrow night we got 3 more fighters coming on for you guys.
Oh yes,
we do. We got a big one. We got our first guest of the evening will be Big Ben Rothwell, who will be making his debut in Monroe against Bobo O'Bannon. So we will be talking with Ben Rothwell for the first time. Following Ben Rothwell, we got Helen Peralta coming on the show. She has some things to say. We will talk to her. We will talk to her about her upcoming Invicta fight. We will talk to her about the Tough House, but we will also talk to her about possibly fighting Christine Faria in the future. Maybe coming back to BKFC, taking them gloves off and throwing some fucking bare hands with the current bare knuckle queen.
The world wants to see it.
The world wants to see it. If there's any bare knuckle fight that anybody wants to see in the female division, that's like numero uno right there.
That's the one. Yes.
That's the one. That's the rematch that everybody wants to see right now. We'll talk to Helen after Big Ben Rothwell, then Helen Peralta, and then we will wrap up the show. We will talk with the younger, bigger brother of John Dotson, Thuggy Bear himself, Eric Dotson. You guys know about the energy in those Dotson boys. We learned that his brother is not far off of John. They are very similar.
They even get the same like head tilt, and like that. You can tell they're brothers, man. It's the best. I love it. I love the dynamic between them two. Yep, they're very showman. They got the showmanship. They're very uppity and fun. I just love it, man. I love their energy. They're great.
Those two are nonstop. It should be a great show tomorrow night. So thank you very much to James Lights Out Lilley for wake. He set his alarm, dude. It is 2 a.m. And when we started the show, it was 2 a.m. in Wales. And he set his alarm for 1:30 a.m. He said he was going to have some espresso on. He's going to wake up. He's going to get himself a little drink. And then he's going to sit down and chat with two morons in New England. And then he's going to go back to bed. Yep. So thank you very much to James Lilley for coming on tonight. Yeah. Thank you very much to Brian Maxwell. Best of luck in your fight this weekend. We're all pulling for you. And also shout out to Jenny Savage for coming on and opening up with us.
Yep.
With that said, Mike, I guess we'll see these Stoonods tomorrow night, huh?
That's right. We will see you all tomorrow night. Big show.
Peace.